7 a.m. See if we can still capture some of this other stuff that's going on up here. Hell of a high frequency morning. So did you catch last night's burning bush capture? I don't know what was in that cloud, but it sure had quite the smooth looking appearance to it. So, if you're basically ignoring all the nonsense pertaining to our government and military actions and UFC fights, and, all this rhetoric of conflicts, okay? Because we got somebody that just loves warfare. So let's go just a little bit further. Well, the two, as far as I'm concerned, main topics of importance today that we are only being drip fed about is that of course, UFOs, UAPs, and of course we will be hearing just that much more pertaining to that type of subject material and talking points thereof. But AI is the other topic. Okay, now then, if you're at all acquainted with my time loop theory, which I have a playlist entitled just that, Time Loop Theory, which basically revolves around the location known as Montauk. Oh, come on, ladies, already? It's only 7 o'clock and they're already tracking me down. So, anyways, I guess my day is starting off earlier than anticipated, but oh well, that's quite alright. So, anyways, UFOs, as well as chrononauts. Well, I have provided a new video at the bottom of my time loop theory playlist, which is about the chrononauts, which ties right in with what I brought forth as far as the time loop theory in Montauk. And because of a 4-hour interview from, 1980s, about the Montauk facility and the experiments and operations that took place there, which ties directly in with these other locations pertaining to the chrononauts and their travels throughout time. Okay. And of course, we also have to deal with Tesla and the Trump family. And actually, that's where that video begins, is speaking about such matters. Okay? Now then, the Montauk experiments supposedly had a chair from a UFO, a downed craft that they incorporated into their time travel experiments, in connection or in conjunction with a device approximately the size of a shoebox that was a weather modification device. Okay, and once they connected that to this alien piloting chair from a so-called UFO, they were able to start time traveling, in which they used children for the most part to do so. Now then, we also have today this onset of AI. And I'm going to include a link in the description pertaining to this guy and what he does with multiple AI systems, as well as a robot that is artificially intelligently or controlled through artificial intelligence, which almost cost him his life, according to the video, because that robot wanted to kill him, or excuse me, unalive him, because too many people out there are afraid to death to say kill, murder, suicide, or any other expletive narratives that, you know, oh, can't say those anymore. Ooh. Yeah, you can censor everybody else, but no, it ain't gonna work with me, because here I am once again throwing my narratives out there, okay? But of course, whenever I do so, I try to provide as much proof as possible, such as like with frequency waves, okay? And so anyways, if you want to go to my playlist over time travel and time loop theory, you have to understand through this Chrononauts video, they speak of multiple linear timelines, and where a certain traveler had done many operations of time travel and within the same time period, going back to the same time period over and over and over, things would continue to change. Just little minute observations of differences each time that this person would travel back in time. There'd be little bitty changes. Now, when you really calculate in a lot of the information and compare it to my so-called time loop theory, you will understand that these linear timelines are the result of time loops. It's very difficult to explain, and I'm not going to go into trying to explain it, because people just need to start thinking for themselves, and by God, if I can do it, you people can do it as well. And you know, I am one of the special people out there, because, why? Well, not only have I had many encounters and experiences with the strange, unusual, paranormal, supernatural, UFOs, and so on and so forth, I have also experienced the Mandela effect pertaining to Nelson Mandela himself. I firmly remember his death in the 1980s as it was a televised, I don't want to say televised event, but it was all over the TV. People lining up to pay their respects outside of that prison of which Nelson Mandela died, bringing flowers and their little notes and stuff like this, and they set up a little memorial, if you will, outside of the prison. Lines of people that showed up. You know, because I have been a TV and movie junkie throughout my whole life, I have a Betamax VCR, which was one of the first VCRs that came out, tape players, if you will, or videos, movies, okay? I also have early recordings from TV from VHS tapes or on VHS tapes from the 1980s, and it is possible that I just might even have a recording of that event being televised, okay? I cannot say that as a fact that I have it, but you know what? With all these other Nelson or these Mandela effects pertaining to the cornucopia and so many other things, and especially with the wordings to the Bible that have changed, it's a real thing. And it is a result of time travel. They got monkeying around doing the wrong things, and ever since they began time travel, it has screwed everything up. That's my beliefs. You don't have to believe it. One iota doesn't really matter to me. All I know is, once again, what I have witnessed through my observations, encounters, experiences, and just like a comment that I replied to this morning, well, thank you, Franklin Watson. You know, I've been dealing with this kind of stuff my whole life. And we got us a very, I don't know if we're picking that up, but if you zoom in, there's a dark aircraft zipping across the sky, just a black dot basically. But anyways, now I forgot what I was talking about because that kind of sidelined my attention, but we can see that we've got, you know, the increase of activity that is beginning. But anyways, I feel that I am very special to be one of those that remembers the death of Nelson Mandela during the period of the 1980s, and I care less what this nonsense known as artificial intelligence tries to debunk, if you will. Look at that. Now this craft here cut off a sprayer, and now it is continuing on. No trail behind it. It's getting quite a little bit of a glow up from the reflection of light, but it's going through right now these telephone wires. Once again, very difficult to see due to distance, but it is slowly climbing higher, or appears to be climbing higher. It's become a no-see-um. So let's once again debunk the contrail narrative, because now we can see, okay, it left a nice little trail, shut off whatever device, and now it's soaring up here. Whether we can see it or not, I don't care. I can see it visually. But anyways, no trail whatsoever. And again, whether we're capturing this or not, and I can still see it. It is blending in with the clouds quite well. So anyways, people, these topics that I am bringing up, they are, in fact, all connected together, okay? But once again, I cannot come forth and explain. you know, because there's just too much involved. But again, if you want to know about the chrononauts, go to my playlist of time loop theory. It's the last one at the bottom of the list. Otherwise, if you want more about this nonsense with AI and how much of a danger that these systems actually are, click on the link below. That's all for now. Oh yeah, by the way, it's only in the 50s currently. And throughout this week, we are only, well, we're not even supposed to break 80 degrees Fahrenheit throughout this week. And beginning tomorrow, right around the noon hour, give or take, we were supposed to, according to today's forecast models, we are to have rain beginning tomorrow and on into Thursday. Overall total amount of liquid accumulation should be that of 1.5 to 2 inches. This is kind of strange looking back here as well. Oh. Then of course, whenever we have these sightings, where you at, you peckerhead? Oh, you're way back here. Yeah, we missed them, but anyways, yeah, early morning propeller flyover. You know, whenever there's these heavy sky operations like that, we get these propeller driven airplanes out here. And those days that I tend to have heavy recording days, boy, they're circling about and about, and especially circling about my head. Just observations, not trying to proclaim anything. Yeah, no, had it not been for where I was standing amongst these couple of trees here, I could have gotten him, but snuck on by. That's alright, I don't really care. So anyways, we're getting more and more overcast. They're you know, well, we've seen the proof of that, of what's going on. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you know, when it comes down to my recordings in comparison to the nonsense that Google and other sources and their false narratives of misinformation, disinformation, and all that pertaining to all this, you know, well, I think my videos speak a lot louder than their narratives. And, you know, when it comes down to it, they cannot come out with information of UFOs without going into time travel. And of course, we also have these sky operations that also tie in with time travel, UFOs. It's all connected, people. Yeah, but we're going to leave off. I now have a cat down at my feet. I also have, oh, he's off running someplace. Where are you going, Bat? Oh, he's upset because I have not given him any attention. I've got chickens down here waiting for me. So I guess I better go ahead and get busy with this day. And we have seen quite enough already. So once again, my time loop theory playlist, and then the AI video through the description below. On that note, take care, have a great one. Thanks for watching. Skywise out.